You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
I know it. It all sounds like some bad movie.
Oh man. Man, oh man, oh man.
Manoshevitz.
Man.
Welcome to Moviesucktastic.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Scott. That's Joey. And we're reviewing Beau is Afraid.
Sure are.
You're doing a nice deep dive into this film. I'm a huge Ari Aster fan, and I think I enjoyed this more than some of his other fans that liked his other two films but didn't care for this one so much.
Well, I mean, do we want
There's
to go over his, I guess, just real quick. I mean, he hasn't made a lot of movies. We could just very quickly talk about his cat. I can't talk tonight. I apologize.
A brief summary of his milieu, as it were.
Sure, that'll work. I like that.
All right.
I don't have it prepared, but I'm gonna bring it up right now.
Oh no, just the previous two films that really made him the darling of the art film world. At least I'm gonna say the art film world. Hereditary and Midsummer.
Midsommar.
I know you're gonna correct me. That's why I did that.
Well, I mean, I am. He did short films up until he did his debut film, which was Hereditary in 2018.
Right.
Which he then followed that up with Midsommar. And this is his third movie. So
Right. And he threw a curveball because unlike the first two films, it's not really a horror film, and it's also not really grounded in typical reality.
no, it's not. And now I'm assuming you did a little bit more homework than I on this.
Just a tad.
Yeah,
Nothing
I
too
didn't do
crazy.
any. The only thing I go by is my gut, what I felt when watching. But
Which is what should be the minimum expected of any audience. I mean that's all. The artist really loses control once it's released. The audience has to make something of it. So that's all you should have. You shouldn't have to do homework to watch a film.
But I mean, did anywhere in your research, what you've read, what you found, is any of this even loosely based on him, like any upbringing or any, weird, tough situations for?
I think just
growing up.
all I know is I think it mentioned like culturally there's some of the Jewish guilt trip
Yeah.
embedded in the story, but I didn't read anything as far as like him like it being semi-autobiographical or anything. But I mean, most artists do take experience from themselves, but nothing specific that I heard. Why?
No, I just because he's Jewish, and a lot of Jewish comics and just actors they talk about stuff like this all the time. Growing up, it being difficult. My mom did this, my dad did that, my uncle. I always find it fascinating when you have creative people do something creative, and even if it's just loosely based on something that they dealt with, it usually comes off pretty damn good. Is really where I'm going with that. So that's
Yeah,
all.
and but it's also a bit harder to like I guess I would say admit or kind of talk about when your three films, the main focus of your three films is basically that family relationships are evil and will kill you.
Yeah, all three films.
All three.
All three films.
Yes, yes. There's no happy aspect of a relationship in any of these films. You are doomed. You are doomed.
Yeah, and the other reason why I brought it up is because this movie's 3 hours long, and I kind of figure that someone that's telling a story that long might have even just a little or a lot of some sort of involvement in it. It's almost like it's almost like just something they want to get off their chest, you know.
Which again is art.
Of course.
It's not just commercial, and you can tell this is something that the director had a clear vision of and really wanted to do. And there's a lot of minute detail. I had quite a few slides I gave to Joey for the video portion of this.
It's the most slides I think we've ever had, ever.
197.
Correct. Well, actually, I add the movie poster at the beginning every time, so it actually came up to 198.
Yeah, and I've got them here like Cliff Notes, man. I loved the visuals in this film, even the very opening. Like there's so many the interpretations you can lean into the opening on. This is definitely one of those films that my mother would say that's how it ends, but but it's all.
And to her defense, most people are going to react that way.
Yeah, and I don't. This is the kind of film I don't recommend to people. I just like say, yeah, I loved it. It's like, do you recommend it? Say, I don't know, maybe. Well, let's check your tolerance. I mean, like, but the whole. I mean, it opens up with Beau's birth.
Yes, and you know what? Okay, so the way the film begins and the way it ends, it's a full circle movie. And if someone were to say that's how it ends, you really just have to go back to the beginning because of how it begins. It truly is the right way to end the film, because of how it starts. It starts with his birth, and it moves all the way through the film until the climax. So it's a really good take.
Now, I saw a couple of people make a comment that the shape of the light as Beau's coming out is in the shape of a boat, but I was like, a lot of the things are in the shape of a vagina, but it's not always intentional. I mean, if you want to say it, I'm fine with that, but I would personally leave that out of my essay. I'll leave that one out. Now, what I find interesting is the whole thing throughout the film. If you freeze frame the opening of the baby's bottom being slapped, you sick perverts, you'll notice that the kid has ginormous balls.
Well, here's the thing. All males do when they're born. That is a common.
Okay.
That is a common thing at birth, but the reason why, obviously, it's shown is because later on in the movie, of course, but it is a common occurrence for when a male is born to have gigantic balls when you're born. I actually don't know the medical reason why. I have two boys. I've experienced it both times. So, yes, that is a normal thing.
Right. And so it works into the theme of the film too, because his balls become even more enormous when his testicles enlarge due to him not having any sex at all, because his mother told him that in his family the males all die when they ejaculate.
It's so fun because medically, that's not how that works. On all of those levels, if you don't have sex, your balls don't do that. If you have sex,
Right.
You're not going to die. Things like that.
But what I find interesting is so with this enlargement of testicles, at the same time, the character is totally emasculated by his mother.
Oh, 100%.
And by his fears.
100%. Which
Yeah.
Scott and I had a small conversation, and then we stopped because we said we were going to leave it for the show. The conversation that we had is I'm not 100% on board with everything you see in this movie actually is happening or happening that way. Like, I think it's happening, but because of his fear, his irrational fear, his fear, it's more blown up in his head than it actually is, So, like, for instance, the one scene where he takes the pills and it says to drink with water. So he runs across the street. He runs across the street to go get water, and he props the door open, and everyone on the sidewalk, near the building, they all start going in, but of course they beeline it for his apartment. I just don't think that that is actually happening.
All right. So what we have to accept is that the filmmakers created his own universe in the film. Mm-hmm. So it's like if we're watching Star Wars, we don't worry about whether or not the Wookiees are a real thing.
Okay.
And
so
I don't
get what
mean
you're
that.
saying. So what you're saying, and what I'll explain to everyone listening, is in Ari Aster's universe, shit like this happens.
Well, what I'm saying is that the film itself is like a kind of a fable, I would say.
Yeah.
So it's like a metaphor. So things that happen in the film, they do happen in the film in this world, but they're meant to convey they do so to convey a second deeper meaning or just to fuck with us. But because I know some people really latch on to the beginning when he takes the medication. It's because one of the side effects is like hallucinations, whatever. It's like, oh yeah, so none of this is really happening. And that was the one thing that I think I saw Ari Aster come out and say, no, that's wrong. That's a red herring. You fell for it. It's like it's nothing like that. And I think to some viewers it felt like, not to me obviously, it felt like a cheat. If they were big fans of the first two films, because the first two films are firmly grounded in our reality.
100%.
100%. Whereas this is like this is Earth 2A in the Ari universe, in the Asterverse.
Okay. Listen, if Ari Aster comes out and says that, then I'm 100% on board.
It's not his decision. It's the audience's decision in the end.
Right.
And I think that's how he plays it too. And just to give an example, that one scene that we're given one shot where we're given a glimpse into Beau's mind when he's sitting there looking at the door, and then he imagines that guy running down the hall and bursting through his door, and then he jumps up and grabs the couch and moves it.
Right.
And I feel like as a director, someone who's very tight and knows what he's doing with his scenes, I feel like that's also there, not only there for itself, but also on top of that, it kind of shows this is what it would look like if I was telling you he was seeing things.
Okay. Sure.
So we can understand that once Beau gets to say the orphan acting troupe. Performance art troupe.
Yeah, in the woods.
Yeah. When that whole thing happens where we get the animated section, we understand that's a fantasy in his head and that's not actually really happening because the film tells us that. But in all the other things that where weird shit happens, the film doesn't pull back. It's like, no, that's actually there. Up to and including the attic, which I will give you my firm explanation on that if needed as we get to there.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, the whole setup, in the beginning, where we find him in this shitty apartment with this horrible situation, and he has to see his mother, and he obviously doesn't want to see his mother. I mean, by the end of the film, we find out it was all her.
Right. Everything.
Yeah. So I'm only mentioning that now. There's no reason to build up the suspense in that, since we're reviewing a film you should have already seen. But
well, I mean, I've seen it. I would imagine anyone listening to this has seen it as well, and they would like our take on it. Are they going to go with how I am, where it's like, I don't think everything I'm seeing is real? Or are they going to go with you saying,
definitely.
Yeah, everything is happening?
Yeah.
Well, here's the scene.
Well, I mean,
it's on the slide right now where the guy is sitting above him in his tub. And
not sitting. He's like straddling on the ceiling.
Yeah. And it's just like, I see that, and I'm like, why is that even happening? But then I think, yeah, Beau he has this irrational fear that someone might still be in his apartment. And look, it's happening. Someone is still in his apartment.
I wouldn't say any of his fears are irrational, and I would say the world, at least in this film, goes out of its way to show him at occasional points that just because you're afraid of something doesn't mean you shouldn't be.
True.
There are things you should be afraid of. So I think it's just like most of his fears actually do come true. And what I like about this is where the film gets into the second viewing, is that his mother is manipulating his entire life, which it can be a metaphor for a mother's abuse of their child affecting their entire life, which is kind of what you kind of get to in this film too.
Yeah.
Now, you noticed at the very opening of the film, when they come up with the studio logos, they also had the MW logo.
It's on products everywhere because that's his mother's company. You find that out later, and it's even on the film. Oh
itself.
yeah. I noticed that. Yeah, well, I noticed that it opened that way, and the first time I saw it was when he went to use the microwave, and I'm like, What are you doing, Harry? I'm on to you. I saw that, and I was like, wait, I just saw that logo. I didn't rewind it, but I knew. And then you find out later that his mother's company, she uses him when he's a baby, when he's, an adolescent, a teenager. Like, she uses him all through the marketing career of her company. Everything.
Well, and not only does she use him as a product, basically, but all the products are about the coddling and protection and kind of infantilization of the male, of the child, of the boy, of the man. Even like the hair, what was it? The hair shampoo for men, and it's something like soft and safe. It's like, really, for men? It's a weird thing to say. And also, like when you see the flashbacks of Beau and his baby shiny faces, it threw me off the first time I saw it. I really, because I think I read some people were confused and thought it was bad CGIs trying to be young Beau.
Right. Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. No.
Yeah, but all that is that's all those cleaning products that she's selling. So it's almost like he's still like fresh from the womb at that age.
Right.
And also, I mean, water plays a strong theme throughout the whole movie. You mentioned the bathtub he's in, which he goes into after he hears about Mona's death.
Correct. He gets a phone call, and it's actually quite a funny interaction with the UPS delivery guy, which you find out later is played by Bill Hader.
Yeah.
I should have never answered the phone. I don't even know why I went inside.
And also, so when he goes into the bath and he jumps out of it violently, like the act of birth, he runs out into the street and is immediately slapped in the ass, and we get to see his balls. He's slapped in the ass by a truck.
That's the first time, yes.
and he screams. So it's almost like there's a rebirth right there after his mother's death.
Correct. Yeah, it's he's free. He doesn't want to be,
Oh,
but yeah, he is.
and of course he's stabbed by what was this stabby birthday boy?
Yeah. Stabby birthday boy kills 3. It was on the TV.
See,
Stabby birthday boy.
I think what I love about this film is like there's a humor that comes through that wasn't really like on tap in the first 2 films.
Yeah. This definitely has more comedy in it.
Yeah,
Sure.
I would really call it a dark comedy, which is the kiss of death in my house right now because I've recommended quite a few films to my wife and they have all come out horribly wrong.
Did you recommend
and
this one?
I didn't recommend them. No, we didn't watch this because I burned through 3 films that like almost caused a divorce. And I was like, I don't think I can risk it for Beau. I think I should leave that where it is and just,
I would
let her pick the next film.
Do
Then
you
she
know
picked
those
the next
3
film.
films off the top of your head?
Yeah, we're not going to discuss it now, but maybe we'll make it a movie night.
Okay. All right.
But I will tell you the last one, so she decided to pick one herself. I just said pick one from 1970. So she picked Joe. She didn't care for that either.
Oh, jeez. She picked it, though.
Yeah, because and you know why? Because I told her it was a dark comedy.
Oh, no.
I gotta stop. So at this point, anything labeled dark comedy is verboten. I burned that bridge accidentally. We'll figure out.
Bastard.
Yeah, but I would call Beau a dark comedy. Yeah.
No, it absolutely is a dark comedy. I found myself chuckling quite a few times.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the water, there's also the whole
The vacation.
flash.
I'm looking at it now. It's on the screen right now. The vacation. They're surrounded by water. They're on the boat.
There's the dead guy in the pool on the boat.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, so there's again that connection of like birth and rebirth and death. That's there, but then there's also the water flashback. I think that happens during the psychiatrist office of him in the bathtub while his mother's wrestling with another young boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which kind of comes a bit later. But again, there's more stuff there about the mother and being in water and insecurity and her being angry. I mean, the Oedipal terms will just, I mean, as far as the humor of him, just remember like it's the stuff he walks by after the psychiatrist visit, the woman with the "I will cut off my own hands" sign, guns aplenty. I mean, just like the kid, like sizing up the AK-47, And did you notice the creepy ice cream guy?
Oh, no, I didn't. Was he in the
creepy
slide right there where she was getting ice cream?
He's in the film like a dozen times.
Oh, really?
In the background, yeah. Half of the time holding ice cream. Yeah.
This is
And
one
I
of
read
those
in the-
movies where you need to look at your surroundings.
And I read in an interview where he said at one point, "I'm wondering why no one's asked me about the guy with the ice cream cone." I'm like, "Gotcha, yeah, that's it, yeah." We all got to go back and look because I just caught the one time. After that, I was like looking, it's like, oh shit, he's everywhere.
So did he go into it a little bit? Is he just fucking with us to have something kind
No,
of
he's
neat?
fucking with us.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
he's totally fucking with us. Yeah, definitely. and he's allowed to. Damn it. Just like I'm convinced Joker 2 is just him fucking with the audience. I think like this film, part of this film was like, okay, you guys want to see what I'm really like?
I mean,
Enough of this.
I don't want to
enough
get
of this
into it,
boohoo
but
stuff.
did you watch Joker 2?
Not yet.
Not yet?
You gave me your brief description of it. I'm definitely going to watch it and we will talk after you've seen Megalopolis because I've already seen that.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I do have to watch that one. For anyone listening right now, Joker 2 is not as bad as they're saying. It's just not anywhere near the masterpiece the first film is. And that's all I'll go with.
I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, too many people were like, this movie sucks. Like, I had 4 or 5 people tell me that, and I'm like, no, I got to watch it. I got to watch this now.
I'm definitely in.
It's kind of like when a lot of people were telling me they didn't like long legs.
Just like every time I see a commercial that tells me everyone loves Red One, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, but that's a comedy. It's a kids movie.
Don't care. They're lying.
They're lying.
That's all I'm saying. Everyone loves this. No, I've heard specifically the opposite. So stop lying to me. I'm not falling for it again like I did with long legs.
Yeah. Well, and all I can tell everyone is go listen to that review between Scott and I. Scott didn't like it, but Joey did.
That's right.
So
it happens.
Yep.
I mean, we both like this. I mean, now the water thing. Also there was the kid with the boat in the beginning. You saw that, right? When he first got his pills.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the boat capsizes. Ha ha! Very funny, Harry. And they even have in the background, there's a poster for that play he stumbles upon too, of the orphans. And isn't that funny too? When they play, it's like, oh, we're all orphans, and the one guy even says, yeah, even though our parents haven't died yet, and it's really like that's his situation there too. He is an orphan, even though his mother's still alive.
Yeah, it's just he's out on his own, but she controls
even though
everything
he's not
in his life.
Yeah.
She just controls everything. Yep.
Which again, I think could be seen as a metaphor for just like there were metaphors running behind Hereditary and Midsummer. I feel like this one, that metaphor is that the not just child abuse, but specifically that maternal abuse, that maternal guilt, angry, guilty, preying upon the weakness and emasculating the young boy. That kind of specific male abuse as a child, and how that can just have these ongoing ramifications. I mean, that's why it's like the end is so pathetic, because it's not that he's afraid. Even after he conquers his fear, he's still afraid. And the problem is the only thing that can protect him is the one thing that's an actual danger to him, which is his mother.
That's 100. Yeah, no, it's true. Very true.
Or that's the only thing that he feels can protect him. I think, even though he's trying to avoid her, in the beginning.
He is. He's trying to get out of flying out to see her, and you could tell that she's not happy about it. And he's like, he tells her about his bag being stolen and his wallet, and what should I do? What should I do? And she's like, do the right thing. You will do the right thing.
No straight answer. No straight answer.
No. She goes, I'm sure you'll do the right thing. It's just like, okay. Like, all right already. I got it. And,
And his character, it's like these people know how to manipulate this character. He's so afraid of just making a decision or making the wrong decision that, if no one gives him the decision, he can't make it. Like, he's afraid to make it, but it's not just that he's afraid to make it on his own. He's afraid of to even decide what the decision is practically.
Yeah, he's definitely he's in a bad place.
Yeah, that conversation with his mother at the beginning kind of sums it all up with that. When he's like, like you said, so what's the right thing? What's the right thing? Yeah. Won't tell him. You have to figure it out. And that kind of mental and emotional psychological abuse is common.
Did you know who his mother was? Like, the actual actress, I mean.
No.
Patti LuPone?
Not while I was watching the film, no.
Well, because I'm watching this movie, I'm like, my God, she looks so goddamn familiar. And it's driving me nuts. And I was like, I had to look it up, and I was like, oh my God, it's Patti LuPone, who, is famous for being a singer, mostly, Broadway, and shows, music, talented actress and things. And I was just like, I didn't even realize it was her. At one point, I thought it was thought it was somebody else, and then I was like, no, I know who this is. So I looked it up, and it was Patti LuPone, who, by the way, had a small part in the movie Wise Guys with Danny DeVito and Joe Piscopo. She played Danny DeVito's wife. The only reason I know that is because I just recently upgraded. My copy the same week that I watched this movie, and I'm like, oh my god, there she is when she's like 30, and then she's in this, and she's like 75. So, but yeah, no, it's Patti LuPone. She plays his mom. She's great in this. She's she plays a really, really good bad mom. Certainly not someone I would have wanted to grow up with. I'll tell you that.
You're gonna wish it was just wire hangers.
Yeah,
Jesus.
right. Yeah. I mean, can we do more spoilers? Are we working that way?
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
So, if everyone's listening to this, she fakes her own death. They, when he gets the phone call, he's told by the UPS delivery guy, Bill Hader, that his mom is dead and she doesn't have her head, like a chandelier fell on it, right? And what ends up happening is you find out later in the film that her maid sacrificed herself so that
his childhood nanny,
who pretty much raised him, sacrificed herself to fake his mother's death so that she could see how her son would react, and then ultimately find out that she's still alive and that he, didn't change for the better, according to her.
Well, I mean, he did fuck someone on his mother's bed after the funeral, but also after he found out she wasn't dead, which I think is even worse. Because at that point, he's like, she's gonna find out.
Right.
Maybe you don't do that.
Now, what's the theory for why she died and was catatonic in death?
Because she had a heart attack from at climax.
I mean, she's obviously not old enough to have died from that.
It can happen.
Of course it can happen.
Again,
but
I think it's the ultimate irony. I think it's just it's the ultimate irony. And also just because you were afraid of it your whole life, doesn't it, like, and you find out like, oh, well, this isn't really a thing, doesn't mean it couldn't happen.
Well, true.
I think it's meant to be funny. I mean, after all that seriousness, and it leads all of it, it's a great humorous, again, dark humor of this film right there. Oh yeah, and then she dies. But I mean, that's the kind of film it is.
Could it also be along the lines of, because he's never had sex before, and because he's backed up so much that's what killed her?
Oh, it could be that too. I thought that the first time I saw it, I definitely thought that's what did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think. I'm like, I'm watching it. I'm like, is this really happening? Because she's a little young to have died this way. Which, by the way,
caught me off guard.
Which, by the way, so I saw that you took a screen cap of the photo of his mother's face. That the pictures of, I guess, everyone that's worked for her, is made up in that picture. Yeah, it's actually on the screen right now. Perfect timing.
Okay.
Two of the people that they focus in on, or there's a spot where the camera shows a bunch of people. Two of them, right there, right at the top, is the doctor, Nathan Lane, and the woman he has sex with and kills.
Right.
They are both in that photo. And I don't understand 100% why.
Also, the neck tattoo guy who was in his neighborhood.
Oh,
is
that's
in there
right.
too.
That's right. He's there too. I'm sure if I analyze that, there's probably way more people in there. So it's one of those things where it's like, listen, is some of this shit in his fucking head, like the tattoo guy? I mean, like, how is that guy working for his mom and ends up in his apartment and dead?
But again, that's like, how is it in his head when there's a whole display at her funeral showing like her entire, and it's everything. It isn't like the end of Usual Suspects, where like, oh, this is where it all figured out. It's like the opposite of Usual Suspects. Like, yeah, yep, here's everybody, and this is how it was actually done. That's it. I think it's a great scene, and I think it reveals to him the scope of what his mother's been doing. But at the same time, it's like he's always known. We find that out when they play back to mock him, when they play back his psychiatrist tapes.
Oh, right. Oh, they just showed a shot.
Me no talk good.
I say they, like there's a they. The slideshow just showed the attic scene that you said that you may want to elaborate. So
well,
I think the audience would like it, and I think I would too.
Well, you're going on this thing of like, what's your explanation for the attic? What's the gorilla in the room, elephant in the room, whatever.
The if I remember correctly, and I don't know if I do, but that's supposed to be his brother, right?
They never say that, and actually, in the obituary, they call him her only surviving child.
Okay.
Which I don't know if that means that he had a brother and he's missing, but it's never brought up that he has a child. So I feel like there's two ways to interpret that myself.
Okay. Because they do some flashbacks where he wants to go up into the attic and she won't let him. And then later in the movie, or that scene where she confronts him, where he's, an adult, she's like, all right, we're doing this. Are you going up there? You're going to see for yourself. Kind of grow up situation. And then he goes up there and then he sees the guy that's basically shackled in the attic.
All right, so this is the best way to describe it. It is his brother.
Okay.
But what it's really meant to represent is her trapping of his masculinity.
Okay.
That's my take on that. And that is why the father is a 10-foot tall penis.
Yeah.
And scrotum.
I noticed there's not a slideshow of that.
I figured there's just
YouTube,
so far.
Yeah.
Well, even without that, I was like, I think that's one thing you have to watch. Even on the off chance, that's for the film. I'm not putting everything up on screen.
Right.
But also, it's a dark shot anyway. You can't really see much. But so that's the father.
Okay. All right.
However, the metaphor is the fact that by having the child and telling the child that this whole story, how the father died conceiving you, and then, and that was what happened with his father, and that, what she has done is reduce this child's father to an orgasm, to a functionary organ. That's it. That's all this father has been in this child's life. So that is what's in the attic. That's the big secret, is this is what's been done to you.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but it's also this universe, so it's also a 10-foot tall penis monster. Penis monster, because it has claws, and most penises don't have claws.
Yeah, I would say most.
Yeah, definitely most.
Definitely.
That is a safe statement.
100%. I feel like I've said 100% 100 times this episode.
That's why I said mostly.
I don't think I've ever said that before. I don't know why. Oh, I'm tired. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think the most down to earth portion of the film is the second act. That's a comment. The second act. Yeah, the film kind of has 4 acts. I would put it into 4 distinct acts.
Yeah, I would think you're right. Yeah,
but
it's a long movie, so
when I say second act, I mean the whole segment where he ends up at the house with Nathan Lane, with them like kind of kidnapping him, quote unquote, after he is attacked by a happy stabby birthday boy. And then Nathan Lane's wife. I've read so many reviews and articles where where it says it's Nathan Lane and and the wife Grace
Yeah,
that are in the truck that hit him, and it's not. It's Grace and the Vietnam vet they keep at their house, Jeeves. He's the one in the passenger seat when she hits him.
is it Jeeves or Gene? I think it's Gene.
No, it's Jeeves.
Is it Jeeves? I thought it was Gene.
No, it's Jeeves. It's Jeeves. Trust me, it's Jeeves.
Okay.
I'm looking at it. But I mean, it just bugs me because it was not one person. I saw it in multiple places. It's like, how can he make that? That's actually kind of what threw me off the first time I watched the film, because when they show Nathan, it's like, he doesn't look like the guy that was in the truck, but it was their truck. So why would, and it took me to the second viewing. It's like, oh, that was Jeeves, but they never really mentioned that he was on there. And I don't know why everybody. That's it. I don't know why everybody keeps saying he was there.
And real quick, when I said, I thought it was Gene, I did stumble across a video of someone who did a quick review where they kept calling him Gene.
Oh. Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
No one can hear you.
No one can hear me.
I just got word from someone watching the show that they can't hear you.
Oh, mother of God. Yeah, here it is. They should be able to hear me now. Fuck. That means our stream is fucked. Which means, well, the video is going to be fine. It just means that the video that's uploading to YouTube right now, I will have to delete it and then just upload. This is why I stream and I record to the computer at the same time.
So we have a good audio.
I will have to upload the video manually, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're good. We're good.
We're good.
We're good.
Mother of God. I hate I love and I hate technology all at the same time. I'm like Madeline Kahn in Clue. The flames on the side of my face. That's how I am with this. I have to do an audio check on literally fucking everything every week. And of course, I didn't this week. And that's why no one could fucking hear me. Oh. I will upload the file.
Okay. All right. So
Which, you know what's hilarious about that? The thumbnail that's automatically being put in there. You got to do it manually now too.
I think Mona's involved.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. Motherfucker. I'm so fucking aggravated right now. I am.
But what I was saying before we were gratefully interrupted was, that second act is the one that's most grounded in like a kind of a reality. But again, there's even an example there when they take the car trip and she makes him smoke that joint with 3 things.
Oh, right.
And
can this kill me? Will this kill me?
But again, like the film tells you, okay, now he's going to hallucinate. Now we're going to see different things. And, it gives us a reason. So we shouldn't just assume every time we see something that doesn't make sense, it's hallucination. The film's going to tell us. And it goes out of its way to make sure it's communicating to us that this is a hallucination. So it's safe to assume that when it doesn't do that, it's not a hallucination.
Right.
That's all. I think that's part of the art of communicating through film. I think he's a director that has it down pat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? There's so many things that the logo is on, the Mona Wasserman logo. And I'm glad that you put that in the slideshow, because I can't help but looking over at these slides and seeing all of the different things that her name is on. Like, it's in every part. Like, he had a frozen dinner that is from Mona Wasserman.
The hold on, I got that right here.
Even the Channel 9 News. I don't know if you noticed, but the MW is on Channel 9 News.
Oh yeah,
It's
she owns everything. She's manipulating everything. And again, this is that idea that mother of a controlling mother, but just like taken to the nth degree into like a big brother status,
right.
practically. Here it is. It's the Aloha, the best of Hawaii and Ireland.
Hawaii.
Yeah, it's Aloha, O
Oh,
comma
oh.
Aloha. The best of Hawaii and Ireland in one low sodium meal. Good source of fiber. Oh, I thought I took a picture of the ingredients. It's not listing the ingredients on this one. Damn it.
Oh, I didn't see ingredients anywhere.
Like on the dish. Maybe I'm imagining things. But yeah, just. But they show that at the very beginning when he's walking after the psychiatrist when he's taking the pills, and that long shot in the background there's billboards from his mother's company, like multiple billboards. It's really set up. Her control is her presence is all encompassing, and it's interesting. It's just a great film for detail. I mean, if you want to like be surprised every 5 minutes and is always looking for little things that are going to show up, like again, if you talk about hallucinations, that when he finds the TV in the household, and he starts fast forwarding through it, the camera footage of himself, and we see footage of the film further down, and that's not a hallucination.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I know.
It just I like that scene too because it not only implies how powerful Mona is, but also kind of implies how powerless he is. It's almost like it's fate. This again. This is more of a this is like that kind of a Oedipus Rex journey to fate that can't be avoided. He's spent most of his adult life, it seems like, trying to avoid his mother, while at the same time he's never been like inches away from her.
Yeah,
He doesn't
even if they're not living together.
Yeah,
Because she controls everything, including even every action he makes, everything that he thinks. It's always with his mother on his mind, and just always making decisions based on just her, always.
Yeah. I mean, it's I again I remember reading some people who try to get into the conspiracy thing where they go, oh yeah, and he had no idea at all about like his mother used him in ads without him knowing. It's like, really? The billboards are right there. He knows what he looked like as a kid. Let's not get silly.
Right.
He was involved in the advertising when they took pictures and stuff. This isn't like, oh,
Right.
what a shock. But what's revealed to him isn't that, oh, his mother has a lot of, he knows this. He's trying to avoid her because she's so powerful. But it's what's revealed in that whole setup is like it's almost like putting all the cards on the table, showing everything in one tableau. It's like, oh, now I get it. Now I'm seeing the big picture. But it's not like the pieces weren't there when he was younger or when he was growing up. We're not there for that part of the story.
Right.
I feel like the problem with films like this is they invite you to read deep, but then some people just keep going too deep, and then I don't know. And I don't think it ruins the film, but I think sometimes less is more.
Yeah, no. I just can't help but look at these slides. Astral projections, Cheapo Depot, like all the stores like around the city. It's just so many gems. So many gems. Like Peep Show, Pussy Change Water, Knife Dick, Stab Other Man, Pussy Write Letter, Pussy Shoot Balloon, Pussy Frog Whistle. I mean, just like all on the Peep Show. Erectus, Ejectus. Peep Show that's the name of the Peep Show, or the porn shop.
Oh, it's like just all of the graffiti in the hallway, that long hallway in the apartment building too. Hail Satan, shoot dope, kill children, fuck the Pope. That's little nursery rhymes. Worms in my brain. That's all I can make out.
RFK wrote that.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah. A lot of pictures of testicles too, which is funny. And like a
Jesus
couple of them.
sees your abominations.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, great detail in this. It's just you can go back and watch this 3 times. Just pausing like during just the street sequences, just the mad chaos they have out there. Like the one guy gouging the eyes out, smiling up at him every time he
Right.
looks out the window. It's just, I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's like, but again, like you say, yeah. Why would they all go to his apartments? His mother's in on it. That's. But I can't see that being imaginary. Like he's not like a. It's just it's a rough world out there. It's not imaginary that construction worker didn't even give a shit. He was sitting there in the cold. Just started drilling holes above him.
I know.
Yeah, it's exaggerated, but that's the universe we're in this movie. That's all. You just got to take it with that tone. It's like what It's like watching what's them the Smother Brothers films. Not Smothers Brothers. The other the Farley
Brothers.
No, not the. Well, yeah,
Coen Brothers.
Yeah, Farley Brothers.
Farley Brothers.
I was going for Coen Brothers, but I think Farley Brothers makes more sense. It's the own world, so the laws apply based on what they decide to do in that world. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, I love the film. I thought it was great. Whether I think some shit ain't happening and some shit is, I definitely need to watch this again. Like little things, like his back is all fucked up. Like there's like something wrong with his shoulder, like it's almost like it was dislocated but healed wrong. Like it's something weird like that, but it's like you see it from when he's in the tub, which the slide was just on, but you also see it when he's running naked. Like there's something wrong with him physically too.
Yeah, just older, beat up. I mean, but what parts of the film do you think like he imagined or were hallucinations that didn't happen? Just out of curiosity.
That didn't happen at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
besides the obvious, which is the whole dream sequence with the play.
The play, like, of course, that's one of them.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's like I don't think 100 people went into his apartment and they singled out just him and his apartment. It's like, why would they just go to his? Because he's overthinking it, or he's scared that could happen, and then he just goes to this dark place. And I mean, it could have been a couple of people, but to him, a couple of people is as bad as having 100 people go in there.
Does the monas behind the whole thing work for you as an explanation?
I mean, sure, but
okay.
I mean, I definitely need to rewatch this, and more. I think on a second watch, I have to go in with a fine-tooth comb and just really, I watched it the first time and I really enjoyed it, but I think on a second viewing, I need to really dissect it, fine-tooth comb it. I think that's the way to go with a second viewing.
And that, sir, is how I ended up with 197 slides.
Yeah.
I did the first half like a month before I even brought up doing it. I did it myself. I was like, I gotta just like tear into this film. There's just some important parts, like that part with Nathan Lane where he leans in. It's like, this is your decision. But there was no decision like given or anything. Like just like a stream of randomness. There's like, this is your decision, and he just can't even say anything because he's not even like listening to his decision, so he doesn't even know what to say. He's again out of fear.
Yeah, it's one of those things too, like the daughter of Nathan Lane and his character and Grace, where it's but it's like, how much of that is real? Like at one point she's sitting on the couch with, here it is right here. Wow, perfect timing. She's got 2 pill bottles and she's eating them like Skittles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, listen, even in a different alternate universe, if you take an entire bottle of anything, you will
You're,
die.
you're, but again, you got to play a little fast and loose in this universe, sir. This
I
film,
understand that, but what I'm saying is he sees her, you know, popping pills, and in his mind, she's eating them
oh,
like candy, like Tic Tacs, Skittles, and you know what's really happening is, you know, she's probably stealing a couple here and there, and just like nothing crazy, but I don't know is what I'm getting at. You just don't know where you stand with some of the scenes that you see in this movie. Is it in his
yeah,
head that yes, she's doing that, but is it in his head that it's worse than what she's actually doing, what he's actually seeing? It's like, you shouldn't do
I,
that. That's bad.
I would no, I would argue it's not in his head. But again, my main argument that
I'm
it's
not
not in his
saying
head is
Well, I'm not saying it's in his head. What I'm saying is he's over analyzing what she's doing. So us, the viewer, we see what he sees, meaning she's eating them like candy. But what might really be happening is she's taking a couple.
right. So here's how I would approach that. My argument would be, and I'm not the argument, but my position would be, think of that when you have a character that's hallucinating, so we're not getting the right story through them. That's called an unreliable narrator. So if the film itself, which if the film is the narrator, so if the film is lying to us, usually there's a sign the film is lying to us or is going to lie to us. That's what I'm
Right.
trying to say. So that's like that scene where she's taking the pills. There's nothing really done to indicate that there's a hallucination or anything, that we shouldn't believe what we're seeing. And the film shows us so much crazy stuff that I wouldn't even try to analyze like something that would be almost like a normal thing to bring up, like in a normal film. So why the fuck are they taking 18 pills? But this isn't a
No,
normal
I know. I
situation.
know.
So I just think it's everything's over exaggerated for a reason. Like the dead son. Oh, I love the dead son. Man, that would like having the place at the dinner table for him and everything. Oh, no wonder that girl drank paint. My God.
And they're eating Chinese food, like lo mein and rice.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how it. I mean, definitely rewatch it. I've rewatched it. It's definitely worth it. But I would say when you rewatch it, just go in and let the film. Just don't assume the film's lying to you. I think that's what it is. I think sometimes people feel like it's like with M. Night Shyamalan, the whole thing with the twist at the end. It's like, every film has a twist at the end. It's called the third act. It's not uncommon, but he just did a really good one, so now everybody makes fun of him and like kind of makes it up like that's all he does. So no, watch a film and tell me the ones where there's not a twist in the third act. That's the ones you didn't like. Because
Yeah, well,
it didn't surprise you. It's so I feel like that's the same thing with this. And again, I'm not saying you can't like the film, but I think some people who like the first two films feel cheated by or aren't ready for this shift in that kind of thematic tone. Whew.
it sounds like his fourth film is going to go back to the way the first two films kind of are. His fourth film, we actually talked about it recently. It's called Eddington, and it's got Pedro Pascal, Luke Grimes, who is in Yellowstone, and Joaquin Phoenix. And it says revolves around a couple stranded in a small New Mexico town during the pandemic. Initially welcome, the town takes a sinister turn by nightfall. It reunites director Ari Aster with actor Phoenix portraying a sheriff with bigger ambitions. So that one there actually has one screenshot. Okay. It's
Sounds like he's going back to the horror well.
Yeah, it's going to be more in line of what he did in his first two films, I think. But it shows a clapper, for filming, and it says 011A01, which essentially means that it's day one, first scene. So that's kind of neat. And that picture, does it have when it was uploaded? It does not. But the last time I looked at this, that picture wasn't there. So filming is underway. It actually says it's in post-production. So it's probably going to be coming out in 2025, which is be 3 years between movies, because he did this in 2022, I think. Oh, no. It came out in 2023.
I'm ready for the next one. I'm an Ari Aster fan. This is some good stuff.
Yeah, I like Ari Aster. I like him a lot. And he, A24, they know a good thing when they see it. So all of his movies are produced through A24.
I will watch anything with A24 on it as long as it's not romance.
I don't think they do that I don't think they do that very often.
They do it enough.
Really? A24 doesn't romance, really?
They got a couple out right now. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I just do not. I just steer clear of that. I'll
But Ari Aster, born 1986, July 15th, in New York City. So he's from our area. It's kind of neat.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Huh. Now, up on the IMDb's, they've got a rating of 6.7 for Beau.
It's too low.
I agree. Now
That's way too low.
I personally on Letterboxd gave it on my personal account I gave it 5 stars, which would equate to 10 stars here.
Oh, perfect film.
Are you in agreement with that?
Could I go a 10 on this? I mean, I don't think I could go lower than a 9 on this.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah.
It's that fucking good. I mean, I don't know if I could consciously go with a 10 just because of so many. It's like I would want Ari Aster in my living room to be like, that's real. Oh, it is. Okay, cool. Oh, he was. Yeah. Okay, that's just in his head because he's fucking crazy because of his mother. Okay, got it. Yeah, I would love to have a one-on-one with Ari Aster and be like, we need to watch this together so that I can pick your brain. And then by the end of that, when he explains everything, like what he was thinking, I could be like, okay, I can go 10 on this. But for me, there's so many things where it's just like in my head, it's like, is this happening? Is it not happening? I know, okay, it's happening, but is it because he's so fucking fucked in the head? It's not happening exactly the way I'm seeing it. It's like, it's like little things like that. But
sure.
I would say I couldn't go lower than a 9 on this. Would you want to go 10 on this?
I'm okay with a 9. I mean, I feel like I've been given too many 5-star, because you can go 4.5 on Letterboxd, so it's basically 10 stars.
You can do half stars, okay.
Yeah, so it's basically 10 stars. So I think I have way too many 5 stars on my Letterboxd. I think so I'm okay with this one. I feel like, yeah, 9. I agree with you.
9 is good.
9 is great. I mean, it didn't even get an Oscar nom. Come on.
No, it didn't. It didn't get nothing. No Oscar noms for anything.
How am I not signed in? I'm not signed in anywhere.
When did it come out? Did this come out during Oscar season, or did they forget about it?
I don't know. Like I don't know. Everything was still crazy coming off of COVID. It's hard to tell what came out when and why anymore.
I mean, not for anything. I mean, it came out in 2023 when Everything Everywhere All at Once. I mean, that was the movie to beat. So, but could you even imagine both of those being up for Best Picture at the same time? Be torn. It's like, shit, which one? You know?
Tore between two lovers.
Let's see. When did you get... There was a special screening in the U.S.
There,
on
finally.
April 1st. And then it went wide on April 21st.
All right, finally. Yeah, rated 9. Sorry about the delay there. I had to log in. Bullshit.
Oh. So yeah, April 21st is when it came out. That is not Oscar season at all. A movie like this, if I'm surprised A24 didn't try and push this during Oscar season.
I don't know. I'm assuming it tested poorly.
What makes you say that?
I mean, I got to be fair with my first watch through, I struggled at some parts, until you really get into the groove of what's going on. It's like, what the fuck, I mean, there are moments. You really have to let yourself go with it. It's like I've been, as I get older, I find myself more willing to do that, but I'm always wary of like, oh wait, am I just like getting curmudgeon-y, or is this really bad? So I gotta watch. I try to watch myself.
Yeah, no, I get like that for sure. Oh
Now,
man, yes.
oh, I'm sorry. After you.
Oh no. I was agreeing with you.
Are we too short on this? I feel like we cut off short. Do we?
Well, we didn't talk about the ending, and that's another one of those things where.
Oh yes, yeah.
It's like, is it happening? Is it not happening? I like the way the movie opens is his birth, and the way I feel the movie ends is his death. It shows a full circle, of him being born all the way to him dying, and while his mother is there because it's almost like a defending your life type situation where he's being talked about, and he has to defend himself. And I would not be one bit surprised if that is an ode to Albert Brooks from Ari Aster, that he threw that in there like a defending your life kind of ode. I wouldn't be one bit surprised. I mean, it's a way darker take on it, the way he does it at the end, but I wouldn't be one bit surprised.
You are biased, sir. You are definitely biased.
Listen, it's a great movie. Anyhow, so I do believe that is his death at the end because of the way the movie opens with his birth. So and I loved it. I thought it was ingenious.
Yeah, he definitely actually dies, and also, I mean, if you take the whole thing as like your classic epic journey of the hero, at the end he vanquishes his demon, which is his mother, and that really happens too. Yeah, he chokes a bitch, and so it's almost like after he fulfills his destiny, he stumbles off to seek the fates for his final, whatever. I mean, I'm paraphrasing or rambling, really, but it's that metaphorical aspect. So, like at your final days, your whole life flashes before you. His whole life flashing before him is all judgments of his mother on him,
right?
Because his whole life has been lived in fear of his mother, and so that's all he can do is fear her. And that's why there's such a sadness at the end, because even in this moment, he knows he can't count on her for the one thing he needs, which is, love, affection, all the real protection, not that fake protection that she gave him through shampoo and dental floss.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Your
I mean, which
security is our
yeah,
business.
which again are themselves a metaphor for that smothering of the child that actually is worse for the kid. It doesn't actually protect them as much as it does smother them and debilitate them as it does poor Beau.
Yeah. Big W Housing, 38 rehabilitation neighborhoods already erected in 29 states. Obviously, he
Yeah,
was living in one of those.
right. I've seen some people use that to suggest that that means he's an addict and so everything is a hallucination. And I'm like, no, he's just living in his mother's apartments.
Yeah. She set him up there. That's all. She could have set
Yeah,
him up in a better
definitely.
neighborhood, but usually when you have uh, rehabilitation centers like that, they're usually in bad areas.
But she obviously resents him from leaving, from trying to be anything other, away from her.
Right.
It's been a struggle since birth.
Yeah, of course.
Even at the beginning, when in the background you hear her say, "Did you drop him? What's wrong with him?" Even at birth, there's something wrong with him. She's convinced there's something wrong with him.
Right. And then
And
he gets smacked in the ass and starts crying. So
right, it never stops.
never stops. All right. I think it's time. I think it's time to
Okay,
end.
well, we rated it already. I put it
We
in at
did.
a 9. Yep, so we're good there, and we're going to hold off on a challenge because we're going to take a brief holiday hiatus. Correct?
That is correct. That is correct. Maybe if we fill up to it, we can do a January episode. A lot of bad January movies coming out.
Yeah, I think if we can squeeze a January film in, either do a January releases or actually review a January release, one of the two.
Sure, I'm up for it. Why not?
Yeah, I think that would be
You know what I
nice.
saw today, real quick? Because Craven the Hunter, that movie, it's coming out. I believe it's coming out tomorrow. And I don't know if it tested poorly or if it tested well, and they're just not tracking a good opening weekend, which is, I believe, what is happening. They released the first 8 minutes of the movie today.
I saw that. I didn't watch it, but I saw
I
that. I
did
don't.
watch it. I did
And
watch it. I actually thought it was kind of good. I was actually surprised. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to hate this. And by the end of the scene, I'm like, that was actually pretty entertaining. Now,
well,
what I think is happening, it's going to happen, is Moana 2, Wicked are still making a lot of fucking money. Okay? And this film, it's rated R, and R-rated films don't make as much money as PG-13 because of the amount of people that can actually see it.
right.
Doesn't matter if it's a Marvel movie, it's rated fucking R. There isn't enough interest to go see this movie when Wicked and Moana 2 are still making 50, 70, 80 million dollars a weekend. I think this movie comes out, if it's lucky, it'll do 20 million,
I
25, the most.
I said it when they announced Morbius,
Oh,
and I'll
yeah.
say it again for this. Nobody wanted this.
No.
Nobody.
Nope.
Nobody was begging. Who but like the most craving comic book fans who probably won't even go to see it and protest over some bullshit anyway, would care about fucking Craven the Hunter.
I agree.
I worked at a comic store and I don't care.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think, I don't know what kind of budget it has, but I'm sure it's 100 million or more.
Oh, of
It might
course.
break even. But it might make some money once it goes foreign. But there's too many strong movies still making a ton of money. That's why they released the first 8 minutes of this movie today. So that you could watch it and act the way I did and go, wow, that didn't look that was actually kind of fun. You know, it was actually pretty good. But I'm not going to go see this in the theater. I just
Oh,
know
no.
that when I do finally get it, when it comes out digitally, I'm probably not going to hate it. But
I actually had that.
I'm not going to go see it.
I actually had that problem the first time I watched Morbius. I was in a weakened state, so I came out the night. I mean, I think I'm on one of the podcasts saying I didn't think it was that bad of a film.
Oh no.
I went back and watched it again. It's like, oh, dude, what the fuck was I talking about? Of course, this is a horrible film.
Now,
You were just susceptible to it. Come on.
I don't remember you talking about it because I have a terrible memory, short-term memory. Do you? I mean, did I say like, what are you crazy? Or it's like I saw that movie is garbage. I don't. Did I do anything? Did I say anything like that? Or?
I said it in passing. I don't think it came. I think it was before you'd seen it. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
I
that's
watched
why.
it.
So
That movie is shit.
Yeah, it is.
Oh man, is that movie shit?
It's right there with Daredevil.
It's worse than Daredevil, but yes, it's right up there.
I still haven't seen Elektra.
I think that would. I did see some of Elektra. Oscar worthy compared to these two movies. That's how bad these two are.
All right.
So-
Fair enough.
All right, let's go ahead and end the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, man. All right, everybody. As always, thank you for joining us. Episode 429 of Moviesucktastic. You can go to our website at moviesucktastic.com and you can download the show. You can listen to the show right on the website. Or you can click on the YouTube link and it'll take you to the YouTube video of this episode that just aired. You can go to itunes.com and you can download our show there as well. You can go to facebook.com/moviesucktastic and you can see everything that we're posting, from when we go live to trailers to anything that fancies us. It's on our Facebook page. You can call us at 908-514-4470, or you can give us email or send us email at themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. Go to our website, fill out the form. It's the easiest way to email us. Just go to the website at moviesucktastic.com and send us something that way. You can go to our blah 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 letterbox website. Jesus Christ. letterbox.com/moviesucktastic. Scott has done a great job at that. You should definitely check it out. And you can download our podcast player at moviesucktastic.com/mst.apk, or just simply go and download your favorite podcast player and do a search for Moviesucktastic. We come right up, and every single episode is there, all 429 of them as of this recording. Do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I think we'll just ease into the holidays with thank everybody for listening and watching. Enjoy the holidays with your friends and families and loved ones, and we will see you afterwards in the new year with the more bad stuff.
You can tell we don't make any money doing this because we're willing to stop content for like 3 weeks or a month.
Oh, well, if you're listening and you don't know, we have a YouTube channel, and for YouTube we do have content. We have older episodes of the show going up with video slides. That goes up every Monday. So if you haven't listened to older episodes, every Monday an older episode goes up, and so there's always some kind of content out there. But we will be back with live content coming up in mid-January, hopefully.
Definitely. 100%. That's
Yeah.
like the 7th time I've said 100% this episode. So you know it's true.
But are you sure?
100%.
All right.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Happy trails.